We're going to discuss, is pain good or is pain bad? We're going to discuss the 3 myths about pain, and I'm also going to tell you the truth about pain. Now, if I was to ask you, is pain good or bad for you? What would you say? Now, you might say to me, I don't like pain, but I know it's good for me. The pain is there to try and protect us and keep us safe, and so we can learn around the environment around us to know what's dangerous and what's not dangerous. There's actually a condition called CIPA, which stands for congenital insensitivity to pain, and these people, they actually don't feel any pain at all. And whilst that might sound pretty cool, unfortunately these people, they don't actually live a long lifespan, but they don't get the emotional reaction to burning themselves or falling. Some of these people, they actually die before even 3 years of age. Myth number 1 is that the location of the pain tells you where the problem is. Now, a lot of people will say to me, Dane, I'm getting my pain here, I'm getting my pain there. And really what my goal is as a chiropractor is to find out where the pain is coming from and what the causes of those pains are. And we all know that sciatica is a problem within the lower back, causing pressure on the nerve, which sends the signals down the leg. Where they feel the pain isn't where the problem is. Another example is that people can get radiation of pain going down the arm, and a problem within the neck can cause pressure on the nerve roots within the neck, and these nerve roots come out and exit down the arm to cause the pain and the symptoms here. Another example being people get headaches. Around about 70% of headaches actually come from the neck. So again, myth number 1 is where you're feeling the pain is not where the problem actually is. Myth number 2 is that the severity of the pain is linked to tissue damage. Now, to bust this myth really easily, has anybody ever cut themselves with a knife, but then you've also had a paper cut, which is a tiny, thin little cut, and it hurts way, way more than the knife cut? So myth number 2 is that the amount of pain you feel is not related to the amount of tissue damage. Myth number 3 is that tissue damage causes pain. And this one's a little bit more confusing because it makes sense that if you cut yourself, it hurts. If you bang your toe, that really hurts. However, there are actually no nerves in the body that give you pain. Believe it or not, there are actually only nerves in the body that send up a perceived threat to the brain, and then your brain actually decides whether or not to give you pain. So when people say things like pain is all created within the brain, or the pain's just in your head, we know that as scientific fact. And to prove it, take somebody with phantom limb pain. And phantom limb pain is where they've had an amputation. That person can still feel pain and symptoms in the arm that's no longer there. So then we know that the pain is coming from the brain, because it's not coming from the tissue damage, because the arm's no longer there. So phantom limb pain and pain science has proved to us that all pain is created within our brain, that comes from signals coming from our body, which send up a perceived threat, and then our brain actually decides whether or not to give us pain. And I actually have a very good example of this with a patient who I seen a few years ago, and they came in with a hip problem. And when they first come in, they come in limping into the clinic like this, not really able to move very comfortably at all. And we started their care because I found out that I could help with the problem. On that patient's 4th visit, they didn't turn up, which was very unusual for that particular patient because usually they'd been early for every other appointment. And I gave them a call to check in to see how they're doing. And they said, "Hi Dane, I'm actually in the hospital at the moment with a knife through my hand." So what happened was she basically tried to get the stone of the avocado out using a knife, and the knife just went straight through the avocado and straight through her hand. So I said, okay, no worries at all. Let me know when you're okay and I'll see you soon. So she came in the following week and she had her hand all bandaged up, and she came walking into the clinic absolutely fine. A few weeks later, As her hand started to heal and as her hand started to get better, she then started coming into the clinic, limping again. And I was going, hey, how's your hand doing? And she's going, yeah, my hand's doing brilliant, thank you. The brain has a hierarchy of what it wants to pay attention to. So for her brain, the knife through the hand was really important. As the hand got better, the hip became more of the priority. So she started to feel the hip pain a bit more as the hand got better. So the truth about pain is that pain is a bit more like a smoke alarm, where the smoke alarm, it doesn't tell you where the fire is or how big the fire is. A smoke alarm just tells you that there's a fire. It's there to try and warn you and try and protect you, which is why pain is good for us. It's our protective mechanism and our warning mechanism to let us know that something's going on. Now, unfortunately, I see a lot of people who have been in pain for a long time and they either ignore it or they try and mask it with painkillers rather than actually addressing the sources and the causes of the pain in the first place.